There was a big episode sometime back in England. I think the manager of a football team, he talked about karma. God has got mysterious way to convey his message. This man was thrown out, but nevertheless, everybody knew, oh, what's karma about? We must know. So, I'm not discouraging charity. The point I'm trying to make, that all this mad running around in all directions, spending this precious human life to have more and more and more of wealth, I'm trying to point out the futility of that. Our lives have become totally disbalanced, and stress is a global disease. And this stress mainly revolves around this desire for more and more money. Love of money, mind you, is the root of all evil. Money is not evil. The love of it is evil. So, once we understand the role of destiny as far as prosperity, attainment of wealth is concerned, then we will still work. It's not that we're going to sit back home. We're going to work, earn our living, but we will be free of the restlessness, the stress that comes with the desire for more and more, and the anger and the frustration we feel when we fail to get what we want. Let's come to death. Everybody fears death, and we try all sorts of means, knowing that there's only one thing certain after we are born, and that is death. Other things may not be certain. We may be rich, we may be poor, we may be a nobody, or we may be very famous. Everything else is uncertain. But death is certain. And the time of death is certain. That's why in life we often use the phrase, I will be there, dead sure. Don't you say that? When we say dead sure, means I'm definitely going to be there. Certainly. That means death is something that's certain. No amount of repetition of mantra, trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim. People, they've made recorded cassettes of that, and lots of people, when I go to their houses, I hear the chant going on. What's that going to do? It's not going to change the time of your death. You're going to go, the moment you're supposed to go, you will go. You may be sitting at home, or you may be sleeping. You know, a lot of people, they sleep at night. They never get up in the morning. People are waking them up. Come on, it's time for you to go to work. Who's going to get up? He's not there, he's gone. People enter the aeroplane, the flight, as passengers and get off as cargo. Death is certain. We can read the pages of life and learn. Every year we have so many natural disasters, storms, typhoons, earthquakes, tsunamis. And when we read about these incidents, what do we find? We find that little children are found miraculously alive even days after the disaster. I remember reading once that a mother had a child in her lap. I think it was an earthquake. And after a couple of days, when that portion was dug, they found the mother dead and the child alive. So healthy, strong people can die instantly, and children are alive. What does this teach us? You know, recently we had that great disaster in America. People can never forget that. 11 September 2001, the attack on the World Trade Center. You must have read lots of accounts of that. There were accounts of people who suddenly decided to take a holiday that day, and they were sitting at home. There were people who left the building just few minutes before the disaster and they escaped. And there were people who were unexpectedly in the building. They should not have been there, and they were there and they were killed. So it is obvious from this that there are things which are predetermined, and there is no point. I'm going to save myself. Even doctors have to leave this world. Even God left this world. Everything works according to law. Saints leave this world. Of course, their leaving the world is different from ours. As Lord Krishna says, Janma karma cha me divya, my coming into this world, my leaving the world is divine. But nevertheless, even they work according to law. Now this whole business of destiny and freedom of action, mind you, it's very complicated computer. You cannot put it into black and white. This much is free will, this much is fate. No. It doesn't work that way. What we have to remember is that the certain things that we cannot change, we should learn to have acceptance of those things and use this freedom of will, of performing action, which we have in human life, to get out of this cycle of birth and death, to attain freedom from the bondage of karma. Let me put this whole jigsaw puzzle of karma in a way that you will be able to understand better. There are three kinds of karma. One is sanchit karma, and one is prarabdha karma, and one is kriyaman karma. Let me explain. First, sanchit karma. What is this? This is the total accumulated balance of all the countless actions we have performed through our past lives. That is sanchit karma. The accumulated balance of all karma. Next is prarabdha karma. What is this? This is destiny, fate. Prarabdha karma or destiny is that little bit, the wee bit. You heard, some of you hear the lectures of Sri Maharaj, my spiritual master. He mentions that it's only a drop in the ocean. A drop in the ocean is taken out of that big balance of sanchit karma and given in each life, not only human life, all kinds of life. This little pinch is given to work out the karma in the form of pleasure and pain, both. And lastly, there is kriyaman karma. Kriyaman karma is the freedom of action. Action which will yield fruit. And this freedom, this privilege of kriyaman karma is only given to human form of life. Just remember this all the time. Only we human beings have been given this supreme privilege of kriyaman karma. By kriyaman karma, freedom of action, action that will yield fruit, we can be freed from this bondage of karma forever. So it's very important. Kriyaman karma is our gateway to freedom, our gateway to release. So we have to be very, very cautious. If we are not cautious and we perform wrong karma, we misutilize this freedom of action, then we will incur downfall. From human beings, the choice is before us. From human beings, you can become divine or you can become animal. All this is possible with kriyaman karma. Now let us understand with a little example the interplay of all these three kinds of karma. I'll give you an example. Suppose a person has retired from work or business, whatever, and he has put all his savings into the bank. Let's say it's $1 million. This is his total savings. He's put it into the bank. Now, out of this $1 million, he has to pay $50,000 for tax which is due. He hasn't yet paid, and it's due, so he knows he has to pay $50,000 compulsorily. And $10,000, his wife has to go through an operation, open heart surgery. So he has to keep aside $10,000 for that on a private basis. He's going to have an operation. And the roof of his house also is in a mess, and he's been told by the builder it needs to be replaced. So he needs $15,000 for that. That's a total of $75,000. Now, this $75,000 is compulsory expenditure which he has to incur from his savings of $1 million. Now, the fact that he has to withdraw $75,000 does not mean that his savings are going to be reduced permanently. He can, if he wants to, withdraw even more money, invest it in some shares or whatever, or he can go back and do some odd job here and there. Because once you're in a habit of working, even after retirement, people look for little jobs here and there. They want to make more money. And if it's investment in shares, then you can even reach a point of zero. Or you can be a multimillionaire, so he can have more money. Now we can use this example to understand the interplay of all the three karmas. This total deposit of $1 million can be compared to Sanchit karma, our total balance of accumulated karma. Now remember one thing. The balance is only $1 million, but our accumulated karma is infinite. It's countless. Now, the compulsory expenditure which he has to incur, that's $75,000, that can be compared to prarabdha karma, our destiny. A pinch is taken out and given to us to work out. This is our destiny, our fate, and this is compulsory. Nobody can escape. It is an inevitable part of our lives. Je vidhi likha lilar, deva danuj naranaga muni, kouna metana hard. No point reading books of astrology, no point going to fortune tellers. If these fortune tellers and astrologers could do anything, why would they be miserable in their own lives? Doesn't death come to them? Don't they have to go through problems in life? But most people don't even think that way. They just mechanically, because whenever there are problems in life, they run there. They don't try to work out with their own freedom of action to permanently get out. Here, as I said to you on the very first day, these lectures, they are actually a remedy, a cure, a permanent cure for the disease of ignorance, which is a root cause of all our suffering. We are looking for a permanent cure. So, prarabdha karma is that compulsory amount he withdrew. And kriyaman karma, the freedom of action, is the freedom to add to what is already there. So, we can add on a credit basis, or we can add on a debit basis as well. We are totally free in this respect. Now, saints have given us day-to-day examples to make us understand this. Of course, no example can be perfect, but nevertheless, I'll give you one or two examples because we often ask questions on this subject more than any other subject. Ramakrishna Paramhans, the spiritual master of Vivekanand, he would give the example of a cow tied to a rope. Now the cow cannot move beyond this point. That rope is 100 feet. The cow cannot go beyond that. According to our past actions, we are born in certain circumstances. So birth is predetermined. Similarly, that the limits that we can go to is that rope of 100 feet. Now, within that area of 100 feet, the cow is free. Free in the sense, it can walk about here and there around the tree. It can sit at a distance of 100 feet from the tree. It can sit next to the tree. It can sleep there. It can do whatever it wants to do within that circumference of 100 feet. So we are free. There is a limit. Everybody wants to be a multimillionaire. But some people become millionaires, not everybody. That means there is a certain limit. Just as there was a limit to that cow's movement. In the same way, according to our past actions, there is a limit. But within that limit, we are free. Swami Vivekanand would give the example of the game of bridge. Cards, people play a game. Now, we have not invented that game, nor have we designed the cards, and nor have we made the rules of the game, and nor can we control the dealing of the cards. The cards are going to be dealt, the players, they cannot control that. But the player can play a good game, or a skillful player will play a good game, and a bad player will end up playing a bad game. And it can even happen that a person who's got bad cards, but he's got the intelligence, he's skillful. With bad cards, he can play a good game, and a person with good cards can end up playing a bad game.
Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Radhe Govind Radhe Govind Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe Radhe ऐसी कृपा कर कृपामयी राधे, ऐसी कृपा करो कृपामयी राधे, तो ही भूलो नहीं पल छिन आधे। ऐसी कृपा करो कृपामयी राधे, तू ही भूलो नहीं पल छिन आधे। ऐसी कृपा करो कृपामयी राधे, तू ही भूलो नहीं पल छिन आधे। हो तो ही भूलो नहीं, तो ही भूलो नहीं पल छिन आधे। राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे। राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे।